Hi, today we're going to talk about a problem I think a lot of people have is when you're trying to get a new canopy for your shelter, for your, say, in your backyard or your deck. Those canopies last about 2 and maybe 3 years if you're lucky, or if you forget to take it down during the winter and maybe you get a snow load and it rips it up. But trying to find one that fits your model of canopy, the replacement canopy, to actually fit the frame that you've got can be difficult. In a lot of cases, you can get part of your canopy can be perfect fit, but maybe some other part maybe not be. So in my case, I got one of these with the 2 tiers. So the bottom part, actually, I finally found one that fits my Aldi's frame, and I've gone through several tops with that, and it's not always easy to find the replacement canopies either online or at the store. So I did find one on eBay that was available, and this was a 9.5 foot canopy, which fits the Aldi's frame pretty good, but the problem is the top part is a little bit too big. So what I'm going to do is, after reading some reviews, and somebody had talked about putting some dowels in the top part, so basically it's going to be an independent unit, and then I'm going to wire tie that to the frame itself and sit on top of the poles, and you'll see how I do that. But the problem was, what kind of poles do you use to make this frame? So I started thinking in terms of like a tent pole. So what I started looking around, I was able to find, I don't know if you can see this whole thing. This is a 7-foot rod from Menards. There you go. And this is pretty flexible, like a tent would be. We're going to see if that's going to work or not. So it's I got to cut it down to size, so hopefully it's not too stiff and isn't going to pop on me. I know some of those tent poles are pretty rigid as well, so we're going to see how this works and if it works or not. So first thing I got to do is to be cutting this down to the right length, and then put it in place, and then we're going to set it on top of the canopy frame and see how that works. So first things first is I want to pull out my topper, which is this guy here. All right. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and lay this down, mark it, and then we're going to cut it with this Harbor Freight cutting tool, which is a great tool to have, by the way. So the first thing that we're going to do is these came with these little caps, and I think I definitely want to keep those just like you would have on a tent peg. And we're going to put it in the pocket, and what we're going to do now is to measure this. I'm going to mark this with a Sharpie. And I'm going to cut that off with that cutting tool. And I'll make 2 of them the same size, so I might as well go ahead and mark them. So I'm making them what I think is going to be the maximum length they need to be. So there'll be some pushing up against the inside of the material. I think I may have to then cut some off if it doesn't fit properly. So we'll go ahead and take the canopy topper off out of the way, and we will secure these somehow. All right, cover your ears. Actually, I'm going to wear my hearing protection. And that is that. All right, so hopefully that's all the cutting I got to do. Put these little tops on there to protect the fabric. All right, okay. Okay, so now we're going to lay this out and see if this is actually going to fit in here or not. Okay, I think that's about, okay. Yeah, let's try that. I'm going to go with that. So, kind of made a kite here, didn't we? I'm going to go on out and try to hook it up to the top there. Okay, so I think I got it attached right. So you can see this is the canopy, and it's just a little bit loose, so it's not bad. So this is the Aldi's canopy frame and this aftermarket canopy. So the bottom part is the bottom canopy is 9.5 by 9.5, and then the top part was whatever comes with that. So you can see I think I succeeded in getting this thing attached pretty good. I still have to do some fine tuning, and put the screen. So what I did is I attached each corner. I don't know if you can tell or not from this video shoot, but the frame itself doesn't go all the way in the pockets. It actually ended about where the pockets started. You can see I've got the fiberglass rod up next to it, and just used a wire tie to attach it. And I did that on all 4 corners. And let's see if I can get a shot of how that wraps around there. It kind of bows up. I don't know if I can see it while I'm recording it though. There we go. So the frame, my fiberglass rods kind of bow and ride the frame as it goes over the top, and that actually works out just fine. So there doesn't seem to be any movement whatsoever, and it fits on the original frame of the canopy frame just fine. So I think this actually works. So if you've got the same problem and your canopy top level is too loose, you might think about getting some of these fiberglass rods, and basically you're turning that into a tent top with tent poles. So now that we've got this thing up there and tied in and everything, I think it worked out really well. I was going to put my mosquito netting back on there, but I realized when I got up there I don't have it turned properly, so the corners that have the ends of the zippers didn't line up. I could go ahead and undo the zip ties and change everything around, but I think what I want to do this year is not worry about that mosquito netting, because I don't think it really does you much good. Because obviously if I don't have any mosquito netting on the sides, having 6 inches of height of netting at the top doesn't do anything for me. And I think it was probably impeding some of the airflow. Not that it's a huge deal, but I thought, why not just keep that as open as possible and let as much air go through there. And if it doesn't hurt the way it looks or anything, other than right now I've got some mosquito netting hanging down, I'll need to do something with that, either cut it off or something. But if it seems to stay up there okay and everything seems all right, then I just may cut that netting off and not worry about it. One nice thing about this is the way it is now is that for me to take it down, it's real easy for me just to snip those zip ties, and it'll come down like a kite. So you just basically hold it as one piece instead of having to kind of take the fabric off each corner and nestle it down. So it might be easier, it may not be. I'll know at the end of the season. But for now, I think it turned out pretty good. I think a lot of people have had that problem where you get your replacement canopy and it just doesn't fit right. So I hope this helps you. If you liked the video, then thumbs up. If not, thumbs down. And if you really like it, please subscribe. Thank you.